Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to another video. It's not a vlog today. I am doing a sit down because I want to talk about the book that you guys know that I've been reading, My Journey of Hope by Basetsana. So I wanted to do this review today mainly because I just finished this book. I know I took my time reading it. It's not because it was not a nice read, because it was incredible, but I took my time because I was lazy, and I was just doing a whole lot of other things in the mix, so that's why it took so long. But I am finally done. I read it to the last word, and wow. I feel like I'm very lucky to have read it. I feel like I learned a lot from reading it. As I know that when I did the year of years book review, I did tell you guys that I'm really changing the type of books that I'm reading, and I'm grown, so reading fiction and all that, it's nice and all, it's entertaining, but I'm trying to read things that are books that I'm gonna learn things from, and you hear me, you understand what I'm saying. Anyway, before I waste any more time, let's just get right into this review. So I think I'm just gonna begin from the end before I get to where it started. In the world, there are always people who we always wonder how they have impacted so many lives. Like, how do they do it? Like, how do you have so many people who say so many good things about you? Because I say that because at the end of this book, but towards the end, Basetsana has included a whole lot of industry people, well, outside of her industry, like people who she has actually mentored. Yeah, that's the right words to use. She included people she has mentored, where they were just saying things about her and how she impacted their lives. And it just, I was gobsmacked, because I was like, how is this woman, how do you touch so many people? And I think the thing that made me so gobsmacked is the fact that she made it, she wanted us to like feel the impacts of her work by putting it at the back, because as you continue reading the book, it's literally just about her life, her growth, from A to Z, from here to there, and all of that. But when you get towards the end, you realize that this is not just about her working towards fulfilling her own goals, but it's also about how she has impacted other people and what those people have done with their own lives through her. If I'm making any sense, I hope I am. So I really loved that part. That is why I wanted to start with that part. So in that last part, she had a lot of people like Nomzamo Mbata, Peltusi, Bonang. I'm just gonna mention the few that we know very well. Somizi. Everyone was saying things about her and how she impacted them. Like, I was mostly touched by Pel's story of how she met Bassie. Basetsana to us, I guess. So she says she was 19 when she met her, and she was, I think most people know that that's the time when Pel was pregnant. She was pregnant at 19. So she was meeting this business mogul who has done so many things with her life, and her life was just a success, and she was just a person that most women was looking up to because of business, because of family. She was just the epitome of what most young women want to grow up and be like. And so Pearl is like, here I was at 19 and I was meeting this woman, who has done so many things, and I'm pregnant, and I feel like, oh my gosh, like, what am I even doing meeting this woman? What is she gonna think of me? And I think that resonated a lot with me. Like she was doubting herself because of the things that have been happening in her life, and thinking, do I even deserve to be in the presence of this person? And it just goes to show just how much our circumstances at that time will allow us to convince us, Uguti, because of this and this, why do you even think, Uguti, you deserve to be that or that, or to do this and that? But so she went ahead and she met with Basetsana, and she says from that day on she developed this friendship and this bond with her, and she became her mentor, and basically family, a sister, a mother to her. And for most of the people who were saying something about her, the girls, she calls them, Basetsana calls these girls that she was mentoring daughters of her heart. She calls them daughters of my heart. All of them had one common voice, and that one common voice was, Basetsana became a mother to us. And I'm like, wow, in the midst of you having your own kids, in the midst of you conquering the world, building businesses, building a family, being a wife, you still had the courage and the love and the tenderness and the humility to love so many other people outside of your family, outside of, you just took all of these girls and you made them a part of you. You made them a part of your family, and you made them feel that they mattered, and you made them see their greatness. To me, that really touched me a lot. Like, I feel like literally that's my one take. Like, I really loved the end of this book, where everybody was just sharing how she impacted them. But going back to the beginning of the book, she was just explaining how she grew up. She grew up in Soweto, and I think for most of us, we all, like for most black girls, unless you were born from a well-off family, we all grew up in the same circumstance. Well, it won't exactly be the same, but we all grew up in the same townships, in the same manner, in a way, if I can put it that way. So we grew up with very similar circumstances for most of us. Parents just trying to make ends meet, parents just trying to put food on the table. We played the same games. She mentions all of that, but what stood out that I think made her to become the woman she eventually became is the fact that her mother, she tells a great story about her mother, like her parents in general, but her mother had like this strong hand. When between parents, there's always the softer one and the strong-handed one, and it seems like in her case the mom was the strong-handed one. So what her mother was a teacher, but she was not just a teacher. She was the type of woman who always tried to sell this, sell that. And the thing that she did was she used them to sell those things. Like, well, not you, maybe used is the wrong word, but she instilled that entrepreneurial spirits within them at a very young age by saying, we're gonna sell boiled eggs, you take your tray, you take your tray, you take your tray, with all her siblings, and they all went out to sell. And there's a part where she says there was this woman who always took the eggs, but she never paid. Like, she always took ngeskoloto yen. And every time she went, because at that time Bassie was the youngest before the younger brother was born. So if she went to that woman's house, because the woman realizes that Bassie is the young one, so she'll take advantage and just take the eggs and always be like, oh no girl, you go tell your mama, gonna see her later, month end, whatnot. And month end comes and she never paid. So then it got to the point where Bassie's mother was like, and then Bassie says that those are the things that taught me ukuthi, even if you can be friends, you can be a family, you can be whatnot, but you don't really mess with another person's business type of vibe. Like, if I'm selling something to you, you better pay, because I didn't say I'm giving it to you. So she learned how to stand up for herself, and she learned how to keep her head strong in such circumstances. You would see, it doesn't matter what we are, but if I'm offering you a service and you need to pay for it, please just pay for it. Okay, don't come here with your gimngane or numdala or all of that. So those are just some of the things that really kindled her spirit for entrepreneurship. And I know that most of us know her as the first Black Miss South Africa, who was crowned in 1994. And I was really shocked to find out there's so much more to her than just that. I'm just being honest. I didn't know her to that extent. Like, I didn't. And when I read this and all the businesses she's involved with, wow, this woman has worked, guys. Like, she's in the mining sector, she's in the property sector, she is in the TV production sector. I think that's where most of us know her from now, with her Twelebilo Productions company. So she's literally everywhere, and I was just like, sure, you've done well for yourself. So then from her childhood and that entrepreneurial spirit being kindled, she then went on to, of course, the pageants, the beauty pageants, and eventually she won Miss South Africa. And basically that's where she says that is the part that really opened all the doors for her. And I think, okay, so after that, she was then approached by, I think Patience was already, Patience was working. There's a lady called Patience somewhere in the book who became a business partner to Bassie. But I think Patience at that time was already working for Top Billing. And they approached Bassie to say, can you please come and be a presenter for Top Billing? That is the part where I like the most, where she says, sometimes opportunities will come to you without you even knowing that you needed them, or without you even recognizing that you had something in you that will make that opportunity work for you. Basically, there's something that my boyfriend always says, that you need to always be prepared for opportunities when they come to you. And I think I didn't really understand until I read someone whom it happened to, that I would say she was not looking for that opportunity, but it came to her. And at the time that it came, even though it's something that has never crossed her mind, which she could be a presenter, but when it came, she was just like, I'm just gonna grab it, I'm gonna learn along the way, I'm just gonna do this. And she did exactly that. And her saying, I'm not gonna be afraid, this is an opportunity, I'm just gonna take it and I'm gonna run with it, is literally what led to her achieving all of the things she has achieved to date. And it's really amazing to read about. I'm not going to go into details because I don't want this video to be too long, but I'm just talking about the things that really sets with me. Like, that part really sets with me. She was just Miss South Africa, and then opportunity arose and she just took it and she ran with it. And another thing that she says right there is the fact that at that time, being a presenter, like, I think she said she was the first Black female presenter on Top Billing. We all know what type of show Top Billing is, so that was a huge milestone. And being there, having never attended any Model C schools or anything like that, basically she wasn't, she couldn't articulate in English properly, like, those Model C people, those who are privileged enough to attend those type of schools. So like, you can hear it in me when I speak English. So but nonetheless, she just went ahead and she was like, I'm just Oksalayo, this is it, and I'm here, and if I'm here, I'm gonna have to deliver. And she educated herself. She learned how to have stage presence. She learned how to speak better English. She learned how to better articulate yourself in English, and to explain yourself, and to conduct interviews, and she did so. She worked hard to ensure that she makes the most out of the opportunities that she has been given. And so just to cut the long story short, after that, she eventually became a producer of the show that she was the presenter on, Top Billing. And that's how Tsuelepile Productions was born. I think that was her first business with Patients. And then from there on, I think we all know, most of us know, if you don't, Tsuelepile Productions is literally one of the biggest content producers for television right now. Sorry, she's producing content shows such as what is this? Our Perfect Wedding, Date My Family. She was doing Top Billing before it got cards. She was doing Parcella. She has now another content producing channel. Well, it's not a channel per se. She wanted it to be a channel, but it's not a channel, where she works with Multi Choice, where they produce shows such as Utatako, such as, what is the other one, Please Step In. I didn't know that all those shows were from her company. So she's done amazingly for herself. And of course, with that, she also mentions all her losses. And that's another thing again that just puzzles me and boggles my mind. Here she mentions that she had a total of 7 miscarriages, you guys. 7 miscarriages. And so I'm like, she had 7 miscarriages. She was able to hold on to 3 of her babies to term and give birth to them, 3 healthy babies, 2 boys and a girl. But in the midst of all that loss, I'm like, how did you still find it in yourself to love other people so much, to love other girls, to love other young women so much that you were like, I'm gonna take you in, I'm gonna teach you all I know, I'm gonna mentor you, and I'm gonna be your mother. Like, how did you do that in the midst of all the loss? And not just that type of loss, but also financial loss, because business is a risky game. She lost a lot of money with some of her businesses, but she still didn't stop mentoring and being angel investors in some of these ladies' businesses. So yeah, I can talk a mouthful about this book, but just the overall is, if you haven't got the chance after lockdown, go buy it. It was a very great read, and it was a breeze of a read. Like, it's easy to read it. It's just, it flows, you flow with it, and it flows with you, and you're just like, I can relate so much. And there's another thing that she says, I'm sorry guys, I just want to end this video, but I have to say this. There's another thing that she says a lot, where she says representation matters. And I think that is a very profound statement. The reason why I say that is because right now you see a whole lot of black women who are in all sorts of industries because they saw another black woman doing it. Like, I saw other black women, other young black South African ladies doing YouTube, and I was like, I actually want to do this, and I started. You see other women in business and you're like, I actually want to do this, and you start. You see other women being on TV and all of that, and because they've represented you and you saw that, oh my gosh, a person who actually looks like me, who talks like me, who dresses like me can do this, that means I can also try and do it too. And so let's just continue representing us, guys, and let's do well for the people who are coming after us, so that they see that they are well represented, and they can also do what? In the words of the one and only Zozibini Tunzi, they can also take up space and cement themselves. So yeah, this is where I'm gonna end the video, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I know I talked a lot, but I really like the book. So yeah, if you haven't read it, go buy it. After the lockdown, you won't regret it, I swear. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you guys on the next one.